Mic check 1 2 on the way to third. Flow sick. Put a straight jacket on my words. Chiefsutt back in the building. Do fantasy quarterback stacks work? Very good question. Stacks for this study, the little research study I did. I used Drew Brees and Michael Thomas. That's probably the most known stack. Cam Newton and CMC, I'll explain why I use them later. Aaron and Devontae, Deshaun and DeAndre, Rivers and Keenan, Matt Ryan to Julio, Matt Stafford and Kenny Golladay. These are just really common stacks that you see people drafting and getting fired up about for the people that believe in them. Do I believe in them? Yes and no. The wrong ones can ruin your league. If you draft a quarterback at the right time and the other side of the stack at the right place, you could win a league literally off the right stack. If you take a quarterback, early in the third, like Mahomes, and then you take Kelsey early, every single time Mahomes throws a touchdown to Kelsey, not only do you get the touchdown to Mahomes and the yardage, but you also get the catch, the yardage, the touchdown. So if you get a stack where they score a lot of touchdowns, it could really, really help you every single week. So you do want the factor in the garbage time king stuff. If you watched my last video, the skill set, the system, the schedule they're playing, those double dippers like I just explained. Now it is risky because if one side of the stack gets hurt, now you have one leg of your stack. And if that player is elite because you drafted them early, that's no big deal. You just have to make up for the hurt other side of the stack. That's why you want to have an elite running back or receiver, tight end, and have the quarterback usually be your backup quarterback. So if you have a dope matchup, you just run the quarterback with it. Let's say in the past, I used to have Keenan Allen a lot, and if he had a really good matchup and I felt like Rivers was going to do good, I'd start them both. If Keenan scores 2 touchdowns, it's just extra points. It's awesome. Early in my strategy, though, I was leaning a lot for Cam and CMC because Cam could pass the ball pretty well, and he was rushing the ball. And then McCaffrey was the only running back getting the ball at all. Plus, he was basically the main wide receiver. So I figured they're scoring all the touchdowns. If they're in the red zone, Cam Newton can run it in, or McCaffrey can run it in, or McCaffrey could catch it. The odds of somebody else catching it are slim to none. So if I have both of them, I have the Panthers' whole scoring offense. So that was my point of running them too. But from 2017 to 2019, I did a whole bunch of numbers and charts and stuff that y'all don't care to see, but I did them, and I made it super simple for you guys. And then it's basically just where they were supposed to be drafted versus where they actually finished. 3 years I figured was a good enough amount of time. Obviously, people got hurt in that amount of time. Some people got hurt here, and we, missed 7 weeks, missed 3 weeks, this season, that season, whatever. But it all averages out the same, and it tells you what's going on. So pre-draft rankings per year and their average. 2017, 2018, and 2019, that's how many players I used out of, I think that one was fantasydata.com. I used that in Fantasy Pros for all the stats. Drew Brees was supposed to go round 4, pick 6 in 2017, and then round 6, pick 7, round 7, pick 2 in 2019. That would have been the 3rd quarterback taken, the 5th quarterback taken, and the 6th quarterback taken. So I highlighted him orange because that's obviously trending down, and his overall average over that time period was the 5th quarterback. So from 2017 to 2019, Drew Brees on average was supposed to be the 5th quarterback taken, which sounds about right. And Deshaun Watson, for example, was supposed to be the 32nd quarterback off the board, like undrafted in fantasy. The next year, he was supposed to be the 2nd quarterback off the board. And then last year, he was supposed to be the 2nd quarterback off the board. I put him green because even though he didn't actually jump from 2018 to 2019, he held his quarterback 2, which I feel like since he didn't go down, that's still holding the trend, which is good. That's very good, actually. Whatever. Michael Thomas, McCaffrey, Adams, Hopkins, obviously they have all trended up in the preseason this year, or the past few years, as is Kenny Golladay. So where they actually finish, Drew, sorry to call you out, man, but you finished 9th, 8th, and 21st, which on average makes you 13th. Where in that same time, Deshaun finished 26th when he was supposed to go undrafted, 4th, and 4th, which is technically higher. If we go back, he was supposed to finish 2nd. He finished 4th, which isn't bad at all, but make sure 3 other quarterbacks get drafted before you take Deshaun Watson, and he'll finish right exactly where you want him. Christian McCaffrey, beautiful, beautiful. He actually finished 10th, 2nd, and 1st. Trended up. If he holds number 1 again, which he probably could, he's just going to stay green. You know what I mean? And Kenny G's the coolest one out of all those. He went from 69, 21 to 9. Now, so their average ADP, the average of their average draft position, and their average finish. So Drew's supposed to be 5th. He finishes 13th on average. That's trending down. I think we can all agree on that, even though he's been hurt, this and that and the other. Aaron Rodgers, 2nd, 15th. Like, yes, he's been hurt, but Deshaun Watson missed just as many games one season and finished better than him that year too. So I don't know what to tell you, man. The only stacks where it was green on both, you can see, is Deshaun and DeAndre, which no longer is a stack anymore. It's going to be pretty interesting to see who fills Hopkins' role, or if Deshaun just becomes a guy that just has to do everything by himself like Russ, which is cool for me because I love him and that makes them both really high up in fantasy. And then the Rivers and Keenan Allen, because even though Phillip Rivers himself has trended down the last 3 years, he still is better than where he's supposed to be drafted. That kind of makes him a steal if you think about it. He's supposed to be the 14th quarterback, and he finishes 12th. So he ain't winning no league with him, but if you get him late and you stack the right players before him, he can get you right. And I don't see any reason why he's not going to be able to do that with the Colts. They have a shit ton of weapons. They have 2 dope running backs. They have a dope offensive line. Defense looks pretty nice. I don't know. And he's probably going to go pretty late, and I'm still going to take him. Matt Ryan and Julio, absolutely not. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, absolutely not. If you had either one of those stacks the last couple of years, you probably noticed it didn't work. It didn't go well for you. But yeah, so the main observations, 2 stacks worked, 2 didn't. If you want to see more observations, I wrote like 26 of them. You can get those on my Discord. A lot of people don't know what Discord is. It's just like another website. It's kind of like Reddit or like a message board type of thing. But I put all these PowerPoint slides on there. You can get in it for free right now. Just hop in it, message me, text me, write on this video, whatever you want to do. But yeah, 2 of the stacks worked, 2 did not. Drew and Aaron always finish worse than their average draft position, which is true. They are overvalued in the preseason compared to where they actually finish. CMC and Galladay have always beat their average draft position, which means people kind of sleep on them in the preseason and they always do better. And if you haven't slept on them the last 3 years, you have been very well rewarded, like me. Michael Thomas is the safest in terms of average draft position versus his finish, with DeAndre Hopkins 2nd. I've always said that about Michael Thomas. I'm going to keep taking him, and I've said the same shit about DeAndre Hopkins. Kyler Murray is a good quarterback. DeAndre Hopkins was putting up 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns with Sage Rosenfels and Brock Osweiler. So if he could do that with them, I don't think Larry Fitzgerald or anyone else can take any catches from him because he is just way too fucking raw. Scam Newton. You know that damn Scamming Newton? Cam is the sketchiest in terms of the same stuff, with Aaron being the 2nd. I'm not touching Cam anymore. He's not even on a team, even if he makes some big free agency push at the end. I love him to death. He's such a good football player. Like, going back to college, he's so raw, but it's just not happening, man. Can't do anything about it. And Rivers has trended down the last 3 years in the preseason, but still has beat his ADP 2 out of 3 times. You take out those injuries from last year, he's beating it again. But yeah, that's all I got for today. We'll be doing like a fantasy Q&A thing on my Twitch starting this week. I'm also playing 2K on there. The Garbage Man's having a pretty solid rookie season. Yeah, go ahead and hit me up. Peace.